Since vaccine manufacturers were granted liability protection in 1986, childhood autism rates have skyrocketed by an incredible 2,678%. Despite this increase, regulators and vaccine makers continue to deny that there is any connection to vaccinations. In the 1980s, autism affected roughly 1 in 1,000 children. Today, CDC estimates place that figure at around 1 in 36, with a new study suggesting the true rate may be closer to 1 in 33 among US children aged 5 to 8. Dr. Sherry Tenpenny lays it out plain and simple. Parents who trust Big Pharma's safety promises are rolling the dice with their kids, pumping them full of poison. Here's the real data. 13,000 micrograms of aluminium, 600 micrograms of mercury, and a cocktail of over 200 toxic chemicals. That's not a vaccine schedule, that's a chemical assault on the most precious thing in their lives.
Yeah, I've heard Robert F. Kennedy Jr. say he's not necessarily against vaccines, he's just against unsafe vaccines. He just never found a safe one. So you're saying your work is you just think they're all suspect?
I do, and I think that's a pretty good way to saying it. You know, for years when I was a board-certified emergency medicine physician working in the ER, I really thought that the only thing in a vaccine was a little dead or attenuated virus and a little bit of normal saline. It wasn't until September of 2000 that I actually read a package insert, and when I actually read a package insert and started researching all the different vaccines, I was mortified that if a child gets all of the vaccines in the entire schedule, they get almost 13,000 micrograms of aluminum, and they get almost 600 micrograms of mercury, plus over 200 different chemicals. And I had no idea. So that's why they've never been proven to be safe, and why giving your child a vaccination is like injecting foreign matter into a little baby that's the most precious little thing in your life.
Think about it. Aluminium, enough to fry a car engine, piles up in your body and messes with your brain. Since the 1980s, the amount in childhood vaccines has quadrupled, often because it's used as an adjuvant to juice up the immune response. You can read more about this excellent study published by Neil Miller by clicking the link below. But here's the kicker. Over the same time that aluminium has quadrupled, autism diagnoses have exploded by 27,000%. Studies show that aluminium can spark oxidative stress, like rust chewing through metal, linked to memory fog and nerve damage. Yet the CDC and NIH are unable to provide a single study to support the injecting of aluminium into babies' bodies. Mercury is no better, a neurotoxin that used to clear out schools when tiny amounts spilled from thermometers. And for good reason. Even small traces can scramble your nervous system, leaving hands shaky or focus fried. But now, we pump it into children's bodies, and call anybody who calls this into question a conspiracy theorist. Then there's formaldehyde, the embalming fluid that burns lungs on contact, polysorbate 80 that breaches the blood-brain barrier, and aborted fetal cells bringing stray DNA risks that have scientists sweating. This isn't speculation, it's chemistry destroying real lives.
Pharmaceutical industry is not a trustworthy industry. It's a criminal cartel, and I don't say that lightly. The 4 companies that make all of the vaccines, the 72 vaccines now mandated for our children, all of them in their other products have paid, I think, $79 billion in criminal penalties. They haven't paid anything with vaccines because vaccines are immune from liability. So you cannot, no matter how negligent that company is, no matter how reckless they are, no matter how grievous your injury, you can't sue them. And you know and I know that if you tell a company that we can sue you if you do something wrong, they're going to be more careful about it. So what if you could tell Merck, here's a product you'll never have to, no matter what happens, no matter how sloppy you are, no matter how reckless, no matter how toxic the ingredient, you'll never have to pay anybody any downstream liability.
Now it gets ugly. This isn't just negligence, it's a racket that would make a mob boss blush. Big Pharma is already pocketing billions churning out vaccines. But here's the real kicker. They're raking in $500 billion a year, peddling fixes for the damage they're causing. Think about it. Diabetes meds, Adderall, Ritalin, Concerta, all those pills for the wrecked attention spans and chronic conditions popping up in the wake. It's a genius grift. Sell the shots, then sell the cure for the damage. For these companies, it's less a business plan and more a masterclass in cashing in on chaos.
Linking various vaccines to all of those injuries.
So what are they doing this for, money?
Well, they're making $60 billion a year selling us vaccines, but they're making $500 billion a year selling the remedies for the injuries caused by vaccines.
Wow.
So the diabetes medication, the Adderall, the Ritalin, the the Advair inhalers, the albuterol inhalers, the anti-seizure medications, all of those, this is a really great business plan for these companies.
Trump has been skeptical for years, and now he's tapped RFK Jr. to dig into the truth about vaccines and Big Pharma. It's a move that has got the elite on edge, especially heavy hitters like Bill Gates, who's pushed hard into the vaccine game. And they've got reason to sweat.
There was something else, another article about Bill Gates that came out today that said he's just been indicted. He's been indicted in the Netherlands for lying to the public about the COVID vaccine. And he's going to have to go to trial. You think that he wants to go to trial here in the United States of America? You think maybe that's one of the reasons he chose to give $50 million to Kamala Harris?
Here's the plan. We've got to make sure that RFK Jr. goes full throttle to tear down this rotten system. No half measures. He needs to feel the heat from us. Trump too. He's proven that he listens to the roar of the people. The voice of the public is loud and clear. We demand justice for our kids. No more vaccine mandates. No more 72-shot schedules jabbing poison into our children. Hit RFK today. Flood his inbox, light up social media, make it impossible to ignore. They need to know that we the people are fully supportive, and it's time for trials and justice in the USA. We're not just a movement, we're a tidal wave with momentum they can't stop. Big Pharma's house of cards is shaking, let's bring it crashing down. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elite and holding them to account. But we need your help. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. I hope to see you there. Today's video is brought to you by IPv6ers. Are you a content